this, you might want to buy this product, and having it be more realistic would be probably better. I couldn't buy a Tesla-like thing.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is someone else in our group, or I read an article. I think that Tesla was the #1 market share for Atherton, California, which was at 15% for new cars. If you know, Atherton is one of the most expensive places to live in the country. So if they're buying it, they probably shop Mercedes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Derek, you had your post or whatever, this last post for the second discussion question. It was really, I was curious, and it actually, I gotta give you the credit for sparking an idea for a product that I had, was targeting, instead of it being a product per se, maybe being a promotion for a product, and the promotion being targeting those. Well, it was the general. It's your idea, is hitting those markets that Mercedes has a challenge with. So I don't remember exactly what they were, but I think you said like Lexus is more popular in Texas, and Mercedes-Benz is not so much. And maybe if we could identify a market that the Mercedes B-Class would be, applicable to. So something where, maybe the commute was less than an hour each way. That way you have the 3-hour window or whatever of the B-Class for the electric car. And then maybe have a promotion of some kind where maybe you give away some free cars, or you offer some cars up, maybe free cars plus try to get the vocation industry into that. So maybe give some cars to the technical vocation centers, so you can start training mechanics, and maybe like a complete market, like try to take that market over, I guess.
I think that's a good way of moving. I mean, utilizing those new markets. Kind of what I summarized in my post from day before yesterday is how Mercedes is using their ability to go into new markets as far as selling to younger buyers, and that's something they're doing right now, which we might be able to tie into there, especially since we're going into more innovative, I mean, the whole electric car solution, considering that was an idea that was squashed, a decade, 2 decades ago, and it's being brought back into perspective. And it really seems like the younger generation, getting them on board is really the way to sell it. So, and that just goes out into utilizing those new markets. I mean, going to places where Mercedes isn't even there yet, but not just tapping into those markets in different areas, but tapping into the young market in those areas. Because granted, we could try to get our hooks into someone who loves Lexus in Texas, but they're probably or have already been lifelong members. So we want to go towards the people who have just begun to be introduced to luxury cars. So we'll still have the opportunity of being able to hook them in while they're young and get them into the new idea of, well, maybe saving the world. I mean, a lot of electric car stuff seems to be about, cleaning up the planet and taking a big turn to all about change. So maybe that's one thing we might want to look into utilizing within our whole strategic campaign overall.
I think that's the younger demographic. That's good, because then we don't fight as much years of loyalty to a different brand.
Exactly. Because, I mean, the age-old saying, you can't teach a new dog, or an old dog, new tricks.
Right.
Or you can, but it's really hard, so why not try to teach those young dogs?
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly what, so you guys remember the Scion line? it's a Toyota line. It was and what they built around it, the whole thing. They kind of took it from Saturn actually. It was the whole idea was you guys name the options you want, we'll put it on there. Anything you want. You want wheels, you want a stereo, you want tinted windows from the factory, you want a custom paint job, and it was all part of the package. It wasn't like extra. It was, man, you get so many options per per vehicle, and you can use them however you want. And I think something like that with the B-Class Mercedes, it's a cool looking like crossover. You know, it's kind of like an SUV station wagonish looking thing. Anyway, so if you were to try and put some of that in there, that younger demographic might be more likely to grab a hold of something like that. You know.
No, I totally agree. Customization is kind of a prime thing for the newer generation. I mean, where I work, we work with a lot of marketing automation, so that's sending out emails and building web pages and stuff. And a lot of that is about customization is key when you give the consumer more options to be able to personalize it for themselves. They're not just buying into the product; they're buying into the. That's what you want them to be able to do.
Absolutely. So I guess the Derek, what are the markets? Where does I mean I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I thought your post was really thought provoking for me. So where does Mercedes own? Where do they own?
I don't have too much information on the demographics, just besides what was in the article. I can forward you that one, and then there was another one that I found that it was about marketing to people's purchasing habits, more about demographics. So I mentioned a lot where, yeah, someone may make over $100,000, but they might buy a car that's cheaper because they're putting kids through college, so they're not going to spend money on Mercedes this time around. So I think that, at least for ideas, when we get to how to market the product, that might be a good article to refer to. And another idea to talk about is reaching out to younger buyers. I think it's W hotels. They do like an Acura experience. So part of your stay at the hotel, you get to have an Acura car. So that's part of your stay there. And I know Mercedes has done before, but we can focus it more on the car that we're trying to sell, like the B-Class.
Okay. Well, you're saying when they stay at a hotel, then they get to use the like a car through that car to go program, or?
It's part of the hotel, like basically they have a fleet of Acuras at the hotel, and part of your stay is that you get one of them for your room. So instead of having a suite, you have a car part of your stay.
Oh.
And you can kind of loop it all together because you're getting a random car at the dealer or at the car rental place. It kind of promotes that person. You experience it for your stay. You're like, oh, I actually kind of like that. Next time you have that in your head when you buy a car, that, hey, remember when we had that Acura for our 3-week stay in Hawaii or something.
Yeah. That's interesting. So did you guys catch that in the post? And that kind of goes to what you were saying, Derek. So I guess Mercedes they own the car to go thing. They're actually their parent company. They're the ones that are promoting this. I didn't know that. I mean, I'm learning a lot about this, right? But so they actually, and they're hiring fervently, like through the nation right now, for people at these places, and it's not so much connected to a hotel like you're saying, Derek. Is connected to cities, and I guess you become a member. I don't know that much about it, but you become a member or something, and then wherever you go, you have a vehicle, something like that.
From my understanding, you buy hours of usage. I think it is kind of like I don't know if you've heard of Zipcar. It's kind of the same principle. They just only use the smart cars for it. There's an app, you just find out where the nearest one is. You go, you pick it up, you take it, you drop it off somewhere, or you leave it wherever you last ended up.
I don't know. That's really interesting to me.
I got a message from Charity that she's having trouble logging in. She's on a tablet,
Okay.
so
Um,
I
I
sent her
sent,
the link, but
yeah, I sent her let me see if I can send her an invitation again through the, apparently there's some way to do it here. Hold on a second.
she says she's clicking the play button, but her tablet is displaying a 400 error.
If you can give her a direct link to this, I mean, just copy the URL up in the search bar and then paste it into, say, one of the comments. She clicks on that, she should be able to get right into it.
Yeah, actually, I tried that. It says Google Plus is not supported on Windows RT8.
That means it's not supported on her tablet, and she's not going to be able to do it at all.
Okay.
Is it Lori?
What's that?
Sure.
Do you know where Lori is? Is that yeah?
She mentioned she was going to have a hard time making 7 o'clock, and that 10 a.m. was preferred for her. So if she doesn't show up, that's just, I don't know, she's probably got better things to do right now. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
So Derek, I'm having I don't know, I'm having a hard time hearing you specifically. I wanted to make sure that I clarified. It was your idea. One of your ideas for the project was to link a car to a hotel room for like different hotel rooms. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I was thinking following that concept is to reach out to a younger demographic. You can do it with a hotel that maybe younger people stay at. I mean, someone in their early or late 20s and 30s are not going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton. They're going to stay at, the A-Lock or the W Hotel. Who are going to have more money.
It's funny that you mentioned the W. That's something that I was just in New York a few months ago and staying at the W in Manhattan, and that's exactly something they do. I can't remember what brand of car it was, but for different. Can you say that again, Eric? I'm sorry.
I think they use Acura.
Acura. Okay, yeah. I don't know. That's a brilliant marketing strategy right there. Kind of associating that brand with the kind of rooms, different cars for the different rooms. So.
And Acura is actually doing very, very well right now compared to some of the other brands. I know Cadillac's not doing this very well, even though they've had to more recently introduce cars that are struggling. So it's very much working for them now.
So maybe it could be a marketing strategy of getting, say, and I'll just throw like a number out there. I don't know what it would be, but say it would be getting 5,000 cars into the United States market, and maybe 1,000 of those would be a giveaway to customers, and maybe 1,000 would be to hotels like that, and something like that. But I mean, 5,000 vehicles in the big scheme of things and you're not losing them actually. You're just offering. I mean, you're going to lose some of them. You're going to a customer, and you're not losing them. You're building customers, but a lot of those you're going to be able to retain back on like a lease. You'll be able to buy them or sell them used, like at an auction or something, which is going to further your customer actually. So
Sure.
Like maybe some of them could be like even a rental car company. Or like that would kind of tie into like what Derek is saying about the hotels. Maybe offer some of them up to like enterprise rentals, or something, and then some to some of those motels, and make sure the demographics are right, where you're targeting that group of people, like you say, Corey. What is that? It's we don't want the people that already own Mercedes. We want to build a new customer base. So that would be
precisely.
Yeah.
And you guys were mentioning, what was it, the B class?
Yeah.
In some of the research that I've done so far, I mean, the B class is great, and it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other luxury styles that Mercedes has. But I noticed that the CLA class, or I'm not sure if that's how you say it or not, but it's spelled CLA class. Those are the ones that they're marketing currently to their new younger buyers. So that might be something that we might want to take on as well is the CLA class, only because there's about a $10,000 to $15,000 difference in price there. And if we're marketing to younger people, let's say even college age, somewhere between 18 and 25, I think it's still possible to market a luxury car to that age, but we need to get in there and hook them. And we're marketing to a more savvy buyer these days because younger kids like this actually know things. They're able to Google it. They're able to do their research before they buy a car. And we might want to get into, I think pulling hotels is a great idea, but maybe even making deals or some kind of marketing relationship with universities, where universities themselves, we're going to give them some kind of funding, maybe a fleet of cars that they can have their students, or maybe some hierarchy of their student council or whatever it is that they use, and allow them to drive those types of cars so more kids on the campus see that. And that's another way to kind of keep hooking them in there. That might be an idea we want to follow up on later on.
And you can also do like an engineering group that maybe are interested in automotive engineering, that they can soup them up, and then you can.
Yeah.
There was, and I think you should see it. It might be on YouTube. There's a video where they souped up like a Ford Focus, and they kind of rally race the streets of San Francisco. So you can do something like that with one of the cars that they have modifying with it. The publicity's done.
Yeah, I think doing a little bit more research into even what other brands have done so far. I don't know. I've always thought that there isn't really any original ideas, but if you can pick and choose from enough smaller ideas and put them together and make your own idea, then you can make money that way. So I think looking into that more, I think that's a brilliant idea.
So, Corey, you were saying the CLA class, right? That they're marking those at 31. Going to their website really quick. They're marking that at like 31.5 as the starting price.
Yeah. The article I was looking at was saying that them all starts at less than 30,000. I'm seeing, I've got a couple tabs up over here on another thing, and it's saying that just what you saw, 31,000. Even though the article that I'm seeing in what is this? Oh, it's the Daily Pennsylvanian, so that might be not as accurate as it should be.
What it was just under 30. I think it only stayed under 30 for about 6 months.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of misinformed too, because on their page, the first price that I did was like 33.4 or something, and now this one says starting at 41.450 or something. The B class all electric. The E class is like a electric. It's a hybrid, right? So it's not an all electric. Yeah.
I guess it's easier for us to actually use something that is in existence and not come up with a magical new product that solves all of our problems, like a fully electric car that Mercedes hasn't even built yet. So maybe we will have to settle on between E, B, or CLA, or one of the actual ones that are real.
Well, no, that's the thing. The B class is all electric, and it is being built.
Is that fully on the market already?
Yeah, they've seen a couple.
Ooh, cool.
Wait, the B class is all electric?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, cool. What's the price range of that?
It starts at 41.5.
Okay.
If you hook to the link there, and you go to the B class, the specific web page, it says the price that I mentioned in my article is like $33,950 is what it starts as. The thing I don't know, the thing that impressed me, and it really does impress me with all of the electric vehicles, especially like some of the higher end ones, but it's the torque and the horsepower. I mean, these things really move. I mean, we're talking about an SUV that goes to 0 to 60 in 7.9 seconds. That's impressive. I don't know. I know some guys. I'm a gearhead. I know some guys that would like to get their Nova to do that. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. It's surprising the power that these things have. I mean, electricity. Come on.
I know, right?
I think that's great. I mean, maybe this was years ago, but electric cars had that stereotype of being kind of weak and, not being a powerful vehicle.
It was all conspiracy. That's conspiracy by the gasoline companies. That's General Motors.
Yeah. Don't drive these cars; they don't work.
Have you guys ever seen the documentary Who Killed the Electric Car?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's a good one. If this is the way we're going to move, you might need to watch it.
So one of the big building points is Mercedes actually did in the very early 1900s. They built one of the very first hybrids and actually won some races with it to boot. This would be a really good platform to build off of if we're going to go this route.
I had no idea. I mean, that's a great thing to loop into a full marketing plan, is that it's a part of the brand's history to include this kind of innovation. So saying that we've been doing it the longest is a way to continue to hook those younger buyers, is that we're not just coming out with this product now. We've been doing this forever. We've been trying to improve things forever. Maybe the other brands haven't, but we've been there for you, kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, not only are we the oldest car manufacturer on the face of the planet, we have been producing hybrids the longest. We've got the most experience. We know how to do this. You're not buying a new technology from us. This is something that's tried and true for us. We have a plethora of research to go off of, and we're using that to build you a better electric car.
Exactly.
Like you said, today's consumers are so much more savvy. They have access to so much more information than even just 5, 6, 7 years ago. That we play it up, give them access to that. I mean, play off of that and make that available to them. I mean, don't think for a second they're not going to research it, because they are. I can research in 5 minutes on the internet than I ever could before.
No.
I mean, hours.
That's very true. And something that you said that kind of sparked my interest there was that you mentioned we're one of the oldest brands. What I like to do in that kind of situation is say we're not one of the oldest brands. We're one of the most distinguished brands. Kind of play off the. I don't know if you've seen the commercials for the Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man in the world. He's got that big, beautiful grade beard. And, I mean, he's obviously one of the older, but he's the most distinguished. You trust his judgment. So you got to play that into the Mercedes-Benz idea, is that it's the most distinguished brand.
Like a fine wine, it's better with age.
That's exactly.
So what do we want to do then? We want to try and go with something around. So what do we say to the board of directors? We want to take. We want 2,500 vehicles, and we're going to give them away like this, and we're going to put them to use like this. And we don't actually want any money per se. We want a small budget, but we want cars. We want cars to put out there. We want cars to make available, and we want to put them to use in innovative ways, like Derek's idea of connecting them. Find a brand. I mean, what's the W Hotel? I don't get out very much, so I mean, the W Hotel or motel or whatever it is. What is that, Derek? Is that a big brand or?
It's a pretty big brand. They're the nightclub hotel.
They're very popular with very popular with younger people. They're part of the larger parent company Starwood Hotels, which is one of the world's biggest parent companies for hotels and resorts. I did a partnership with them a year or two ago and tried to learn as much as I possibly could about them. So they're kind of a scary big entity, but Derek is right on the money. They're a nightclub hotel. That's exactly it. But to partner with something like that would be getting those younger people. So I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. I'm kind of getting excited here.
No, it really is. I think every time I've been to a W hotel, somebody's always being carried back up to the room, passed out drunk. It's just what happens there, I guess.
So how big do you think they are? I mean, like as far as, okay, they're in big cities. You mentioned New York or whatever, New York City. Where else are they? I mean, like, are they?
New York, Paris, London, San Francisco, LA. Name the big cities that you can name, and they are there.
Okay.
No, not in Salem, huh?
Not in Salem, unfortunately.
That's cool. They're not in Billings either.
So are we talking about creating a product, like maybe doing something similar to the B class, but then connecting them to the hotels or the universities as like our plan to get it out there? Is that sort of what we're?
I would think that would be one of the avenues, right? That would be one, because if I understand what I'm reading in the marketing book, you want to go in a multi-direction. You want to use, if you're going to do a marketing plan, you want to do a marketing plan like the holistic thing, and you
Right.
approach it inside the company and outside the company with customers and different avenues, but you want to target the same people in different ways. And so you target that group of people at the W hotel, and you might do that through, it just dawned on me, you could even use Daimler with the parent company, Mercedes. You could even use their car-to-go or car-to-car or whatever. You can use that platform to make those cars available. You might not even have to come up with one single car, except to provide to that company already. And so that's even more attractive, right? But then you go to like the college thing, and you make some of, like Derek said, I think it was Derek said, the engineering students. You make some of those available to them, and those are going to be some of the people that you're going to want. They're going to be driving your cars later anyway. So get them now, get them hooked, get them there while they're still paying their student loans off, and do it for cheap,
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of thinking about where to go with that idea, at least for universities, is we want to look at not really big universities. We don't want to look particularly at Ivy League. I was just kind of researching a bit. Ivy League is a place where I think if we were to start thinking about it and developing a marketing plan for it, we want to stay away from big schools, because then we're talking about kids who got cars on their 16th birthday. They can already afford those luxury cars. We don't want to hook them. Their parents have already provided that, or they have trust funds. So we want to go with those second to third tier bigger schools. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Maybe Brown University, that's in the Northeast. That's almost Ivy League, but not Ivy League. But we want to hook someone in there, get them interested in that sort of thing. We don't want people who can already buy the car. We want people who will invest in the car down the road, or now.
Like UCLA or something. I mean, those are kind of
Exactly.
be a big variety of type of people there.
Precisely. And more places that have great technology programs, because if we're going to be selling or marketing a savvy car, like an electric car, and it does cost $30,000 or $40,000, that's going to be at least as much, if not more, than their education. So we want to make sure that we're not hooking them on the price. The price isn't going to be that appealing to them. What we want to sell them on is the specs, and make sure that those technology schools really are buying into the specs of this car. It's electric. It has all these capabilities of customization, and we got to add something else to it. I'm sure there's other stuff that we can research that is already in the car that would be appealing to that sort of consumer, but at that sort of savvy young consumer that I think we might want to aim at.
And even like the in-dash technology, all the GPS and all the stuff you can do, like, was it like send a map to your Mercedes-Benz from your room, and then when you get there it knows where you're going, or that kind of thing. I read that in someone's article. I don't know, but also, there's that research about demographics and, like, boomers versus Generation Y and all that. they always say that the millennials are impatient.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them, so they don't really want to put in their year's worth of earning something. You think, I'm doing well, I came out of school, or I'm in school, why can't I have this car now? Why should I wait 10, 20 years? I like the hooking them young, kind of getting them into that sort of the
Absolutely.
lifestyle of, yeah.
The last
That's
job I
really what
was
the point of the CLA is.
at.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that my last job that I was working, I worked around the high school and high school environment. So when it comes to those millennials being impatient, if you don't have kids right now, you really don't even understand. They are impatient. They don't want to have to walk across campus places. If they could drive a car across campus, they do it. It's pretty ridiculous. That's how impatient they are. So getting that kind of transportation, getting that kind of product into their hands as soon as possible and making it more readily available, that is going to be a big, huge selling point as well, is the ease of getting it. So maybe even setting something up on campus where they can even purchase the car there. I don't know, maybe when it will even have an online platform to be able to purchase a car or something like that.
Well, they have these the new boutique stores or whatever. But as we were all talking, one of the things that is like it's jumping out and slapping me in the face while we're sitting here talking is why couldn't we build this marketing plan? It could be centered around the car-to-car platform instead of making cars, giving them away. Why don't we put a franchise at every third-tier school in the nation? Why don't we put these little car-to-car stores in every city over 100,000 people? Why don't we build the infrastructure that makes these cars available, and then offer incentives to use those cars versus the other ones?
I think that's a really great idea. I think the thing we're going to have to think, well, it might not even be something that we have to think about personally, but getting a service like that in college towns like that, there might be some abuse from certain types of student body. I mean, if that kind of thing is available in that town, you're going to have students using that all the time. However, that kind of service, like car-to-go or car-to-car, usually to do that kind of rental car service, you have to be over 25. So we got to kind of discover something that's going to not make these students have to pay a buttload of cash, to be crass, just to rent these cars, because to pay for that kind of insurance under the age of 25, they're not going to do it. It's not going to be appealing to them.
Yeah. Does anybody know about that car-to-car thing? Is there an age requirement on that? Is it like other rental car companies?
I don't know.
And we can look into it. My last suggestion, we're not going too far in that direction. It gets a little away from the Mercedes brand itself and how much wiggle room we have with that.
Okay.
And I think it's a good idea, especially to get that build that base up before they get out of college and then go buy cars afterwards.
Sorry, I only heard part of that. Sorry.
I was just saying that I think that's a good idea, at least especially from a marketing point, or maybe even adding more cars to that program. It's like models, different models besides just the smart cars. It's just, I think going too far the car-to-go direction might get away from the Mercedes brand itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. You want to promote the brand more than, yeah. That's what you're saying. If you're combining it with the wrong other group of cars, you're going to send the wrong message. Is that what you're saying, Derek? Or?
Kind of, I just don't want to focus too much on car-to-go. This might get too far from where we said we're going to be.
Maybe we need to change it not from car-to-go, but use that model and have bins to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like, oh, in your junior year of your bachelor's program, what's that? You have a meeting you have to go to? Bins to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know, right? Like, you want to get that job, I don't know, pull up in a Benz, right?
Now that you put up in a fence, might think you don't need the job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Just in case, we have a small fleet of Honda Accords from 1992.
If you want to look
Just
at
in case.
Well, this is true, though. I mean, these are probably the things. These are the conversations that probably actually go on in the marketing, in a meeting, right? Because you don't want to do that. That's a really good point, Derek. You don't want to mix that up with Ford Fiesta, and a Toyota. You probably don't want to crossbreed those brands. Actually, I didn't think of that.
So where should we go next?
Good question. Now I'm going to scan over my syllabus.
Yeah.
Well, should we create a new thread in our discussion and throw out ideas of where we want to focus on? This kind of throw ideas up there, vote on whoever gets the most vote and run with that idea.
Yeah, did you say create a new discussion to talk about the ideas?
Yeah, just brainstorm potential ideas that we can market and then decide from there how many we have an idea going forward. Because not everybody's here, that way they can have their thoughts and opinions.
I think it's good.
And so, are we wanting to do a meeting a week here? Is that what we're going to try to do, like a video conference a week, like the professor said, or?
I think that would be a wise idea. I mean, I'm looking at the course calendar right now, and there's nothing required for us to do assignment-wise for our overall marketing plan until week 5. So we are really going to be in charge of making this either go or flop for ourselves. So I think at least checking in once a week and building upon our ideas is going to keep us accountable.
I think so too, and I think the stuff from HDQ will help us with our plan, but we have to make it help us with our plan.
Yeah. So I suppose the conversations that we continue to have once a week, or however, whatever we decide, is going to be able to build on that and continue to narrow down exactly what we want to do. Everything we've thrown out tonight, brilliant ideas, but there's about 5 or 6 really great ideas. We're going to have to pick probably one that we want to stick with in the end.
So do you guys, somebody can just start a new thread in the first one. So Team 1 Mercedes up at the top there. We'll start a new thread there and maybe kind of build off of what the professor said. Maybe so week 2 ongoing meeting discussion, right, or something like that. Then it'll be easier to kind of weed through. I don't know if you guys saw that post in the questions and answers from Nancy. But she's absolutely right, and Dwayne is too. That's the new Moodle is ridiculous. I don't know. Yeah, this is only like my 4th class or whatever, and a couple of you guys know that you've been with. But I can't. I'm going crazy. I guess it's probably because I'm anal or something. But I'm freaking out trying to find like who to reply to and keep track of that. And ever since they changed it, it's crazy. I don't know. Like,
I get dizzy scrolling.
To format anything or to make it follow the format that you wrote it in.
Yeah, the organization of it is bogus.
So
Yeah.
I mean, to help that out, we just start a new one in like a new discussion thread within the Team 1 Mercedes that Charity started. Would that be okay?
Yeah, I think we should just start a week on each one. That brings it up a little bit.
Derek, did you say you want to start a new thread each week that we build upon our ideas?
I think so, at least that way we have each kind of section kind of broken down.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I could barely hear you, though.
Just because I think after 5 weeks it's going to get pretty long, especially with people signing down. It's going to be a pretty long discussion thread at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, and do we want to make? So Derek took the week 1. He was gonna you volunteered to do that. And by the way, thank you. Like in face to face, thanks for doing that. Like, I didn't have the time, but so do we want to just wait week by week for volunteers to do that, or do we want to assign people to do that, or like make like a little thing or something? I just want to try so that for scheduling, if somebody needs a specific week over a different week, or maybe one week's not going to be good for them, maybe that would be helpful. I don't know.
And we can put that kind of a sign up in the discussion thread. That way, Chairman and Lori have a chance to get in on it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Very cool.
And there are more of us than there are weeks, though, right? So.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm sure toward the end there'll be extra jobs people can volunteer for.
Right.
I'm sure. It sounds like I went through the outline today again for the marketing plan, and I'll tell you what, this is a pretty extensive project. It's going to be a lot of work. If there's 15 finished pages, I'll bet there'll be 100 unfinished pages.
I hope not. But yeah.
Thomas, be careful. You're going to make me sweat.
Not me. That's our professor.
Any volunteers to start the new thread?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any volunteers to start the thread for week 2?
Sure, I can do it if you want.
Okay.
So this is to start the conversation of just like trying to figure out what our product is or just our direction.
Yeah, and then also we can maybe start thinking about who wants to do each section of the outline or the marketing plan. I don't know if it's too soon to do that.
Who's going to take what part? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
It's never going to be too soon. I want to be ahead of everyone. Innovation is our middle name.
Was there anything else done today?
Well, how do we, where will this be posted so we can send the link to people or like to Lori and Charity?
It's going to be, they both got an invite, and the invite it's supposed to, I don't know, because I didn't get an invite, I didn't send myself one, but the invite is supposed to, maybe you guys can see on your computers, I don't know, it should have come on your Gmail account, but there should be a link to, I guess apparently I have a YouTube page I didn't know about. And, apparently it's going to be a link to that, and it'll be under the videos, the live feed. It's still going right now. It's good for an hour, I guess, every time. And that's why I was asking about the meetings, is when it's easier to schedule them ahead of time. So, but yeah, it's supposed to be on my YouTube page, I guess, whatever that is. I've never been there, but you guys tell me.
I think I've got the invite and everything sitting here in my inbox, and from what I can tell, I mean it's a link to what the video is going to be. I think it's recording, so it's going to end up posting to your page. I will let you know in the chat after we get done tonight. See if it all kind of wrapped up the right way.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to do a chat and decide more on the thing. I was just looking at week 2 discussion question 1, and it actually is kind of a post around our discussion tonight. That's kind of weird. So it's almost like we all knew what the discussion question was, because
we're ahead of the game.
Yeah, right. So let's just play it out like that. But it's about picking a product, and each student picks one product that the company sells and markets it to 2 different segments of potential customers. So I guess this is going to be really helpful this week, so it'll kind of hone us down a little bit on it.
Good.
Good deal.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Done?
Cool.
All right. You guys want to do one last thing? Want to orchestrate a high five? Are you ready for this? Is it possible? Huh? Bam?
Okay.
High five! Bam! The future is weird.
You're funny, Corey. That's good.
You guys have a good night.
You too. Good night.
You too.